Growing concern at this hour for men incarcerated inside Beaumont's federal prison complex as COVID-19 remains a threat inside that facility. KFDM's Angel San Juan is investigating for us that situation and has been doing so for the last several weeks. He's here now to tell us about the new worries at the prison. Angel?
Greg, initially when we first started looking into what was going on out there, family members told us the COVID-19 virus spread quickly because inmates who had tested positive were housed together with those who were not infected. But now we're learning prisoners with the virus are not receiving proper treatment.
Prisoners' lives matter.
Release to the crease.
Prisoners' lives matter.
Release to the crease.
This week started with a protest outside Beaumont's federal prison complex. Family members of loved ones incarcerated here shedding light on what they consider to be the disastrous handling of COVID-19 inside the facility.
Hear them. They don't have a voice.
Among the protesters, Patti Stockman, wife of former Southeast Texas Congressman Steve Stockman, who is serving time here. Last Friday, after we reported that the virus had infected her husband, is when she says prison staff finally took action to treat him.
Within 2 hours, the prison transported Steve to one of the local hospital's emergency rooms. And so they x-rayed his lungs, treated him on the spot, sent him back.
X-rays found Steve Stockman's lungs severely inflamed. Patti remains very worried about her 63-year-old husband because he's diabetic, has asthma, and suffers from high blood pressure, all conditions that could make COVID-19 worse for him. Yet she says the prison is not following through on the hospital's orders.
The prison has denied the filling of the ER doctor's prescription of hydroxychloroquine. They just refuse to give it, and apparently it has been denied at the highest levels.
This even though the Los Angeles Times reported in April the Federal Bureau of Prisons was stocking up on the medication.
$60,000 contract for the purchase of hydroxychloroquine. So why they would purchase those kinds of stockpiles of the drug and then not fill it for my husband is beyond belief.
Patti questions the prison's protocol toward those infected with the virus.
It's amazing to me that that a doctor inside the prison who's never treated a COVID patient in his life blows off the prescription of a doctor in an emergency room that's treating COVID day in and day out, many patients a day. You wonder who's got the expertise there. I would say the ER doctor.
Patti says her husband is improving somewhat, but she says he's definitely still sick and his lungs require attention. But she knows he's not alone, and she's become a voice for the other prisoners as well.
My understanding is those men in the prison who have the virus get nothing, no meds from the prison system to treat their symptoms and help them recover from the virus. It's heartbreaking.
So Patti continues to push for relief.
I do believe that continued pressure, particularly in the public spotlight, like your network is doing, has got to help, because darkness doesn't like the light.
Families are also doubting the prison system's transparency with the true number of cases. During the past 3 weeks, we've been examining the active cases the Federal Bureau of Prisons is reporting. It's gone from more than 500 on July 23rd to 25 on July 31st, and now it stands at 54 active COVID-19 cases.
I don't understand the numbers anymore because suddenly over 400 men overnight got well. I can't figure it.
Patti and other relatives of inmates believe the Federal Bureau of Prisons could have controlled the outbreak if it had followed the U.S. Attorney's directive issued in March to release nonviolent inmates most vulnerable to the virus to home confinement.
Both the prison at the top, the Bureau of Prisons, and the local prison, they all say that the inmates' well-being is their top priority. Well, their actions show otherwise.
Another family member with an inmate at Beaumont's Federal Prison told us he is so sick with COVID that he was taken out of the facility yesterday by ambulance to a local hospital. As of today, nationwide, there have been 111 federal inmates and 1 Bureau of Prisons staff member who have died because of COVID-19. Greg.